Welcome to episode of 164 of Fourth and John, the Eagles, the 4-8-1 Eagles,
Hey,
the New Orleans Saints. We are at the post game pod, and the crew's feeling themselves a little bit. I know I am. I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't been this happy in a long time. Last time the Eagles won a game was November 1st. It's been 84 years. The Eagles won a game. Again, I started this game from an evaluator's point of view, and I got to see exactly. This is exactly what I was looking for in my Stephen A. Smith voice. You're talking about a rookie going against the number one defense in the league and not looking shook one out there. Let me repeat that. A rookie in his first game going against the number one defense in the league and not looking shook one. The idea of him coming in before the game started, people were like worried about his psyche. He might ruin him. What's going to happen to this guy? Blah blah blah. He played with confidence. It's kind of like the same rapport he's had at Alabama, Oklahoma. He just felt like he knew what he was doing with the ball, and the short intermediate game was amazing. Just make the throws. Over 100 yards rushing. He used his legs. Doug Peterson actually ran the ball. Miles Sanders didn't get over the 15 carries we were talking about. Got 14. Still had some big plays. The defense came up with plays. Minus we had a lot of injuries in the secondary. But overall, the team looked different. The offense hit differently. I know everyone's excited in the chat. Shout out to all you people that are interactive in the chat at the moment. For people listening to the podcast, this is the most interactive pod that we have. But how are you guys feeling? I'll start with you, Evan.
man, that was a completely different Eagles football team that I saw out there today. It looked nothing like what I've seen all year long. This looks like a completely different squad. And the only thing that I can look at is the common factor here of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, like you said, he didn't look like the game was too big for him. He was going up against the number one defense in the league. He looked comfortable in the pocket. He was smart with his decision making. He was able to adjust when he was making throws on the run. I think he looked really strong out there. It just continues to add on to the conversation that we've been having and that's been brewing inside of Philadelphia, the Jalen Hurts versus Carson Wentz debate. And, Jalen Hurts made a lot of headway today. He certainly did. And if he continues to play like this for the rest of the season, if he were to throw something together incredible, like how astonished we were today for the rest of the season, I'm hard pressed to say that Carson Wentz, man, I saw a comment up at the top here talking about buying Carson some new designer luggage for Christmas. Man might have to be packing his bags.
Whoa, I mean, come on.
Whoa. Listen to what I said, the full context of what I said. If he plays out like this for the rest of the season, it's going to be a tough decision. It's going to have to be made. Yeah.
How you feeling, man? Okay.
Hey, I'm good, man. It was a spark. It was definitely something that you wanted going into this game. I totally agree with you. The kid looked very confident going against the number one defense, so-called number one defense. But it was great. It was a great outcome. It was exciting to be able to kind of get into these games, clapping, yelling at the screen, yelling out fumble, putting the fear into my kids a couple of times while they're down here watching the game with me. It was just like, I haven't felt like that in a couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong. I said in the very beginning, I would love to see this kid play out the rest of the season. Sit Carson down. His year has just not been productive. Let it be. It is what it is. All right. I'm a Carson guy. I'm not going to change after this performance. That's not going to change my mind. But, seriously, Jalen, I appreciate it. You got us to win. You did your thing. Ride this thing out. I hope, we go on a 4-game winning streak and we finish this thing strong. I'm with you on that. But other than that, I'm just going to leave it at that until we get further into this show. That's
You're in your bag a little bit.
Okay,
You're in your bag.
Catching vibes over there. Chris. Chris, as a certified Wentz stan, maybe. with the Wentz jersey in the background. Let me zoom in on that. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, because you speak for part of the fan base that is like really pro Wentz, and what you saw from Jalen Hurts.
Hey man, like I'm an Eagles fan first, and for the last couple of years, like it's been Carson Wentz that's been helping this team get to where we want to be. I mean, you don't win a Super Bowl without him. But that being said, in this industry, it's really what have you done for me lately? However, like I still think Carson Wentz has done stuff for us lately. It's just been this year has been so bad that a lot of recency bias just clouds people. But I don't want to focus on Carson Wentz. That's my guy. But like, let's just focus on what just happened tonight. I mean, Jalen Hurts. You just see maybe Doug had these plays the whole time and just didn't want Carson running them, but like we saw a completely different offense. I think a lot of it has to do with Jalen Hurts, the guy. His legs were a huge asset to us tonight. He was hitting all the intermediate routes, getting the ball out fast, not taking sacks where Wentz was before, not walking himself into sacks where Wentz was. Jalen Reagor getting the ball in space, the crossing route, the 40-yard gain, that was amazing. You saw him go right across the field. You could have been staring at Ertz on that pick a little bit, but hey, man, they don't call it. Who cares? But I mean, you could just see the chemistry was there. He was getting the ball out to Ertz. I don't know how they didn't call that a catch, the sideline catch by Ertz. Like they paused the game and they both feet were down. I mean, we don't know yet what Jalen Hurts is, if he's going to be the franchise quarterback, because no matter how you spin it, you still have a $33 million quarterback on the hook for this year and next year. So that's going to become a big question, but we have time to talk about that later. I'm just happy Jalen Hurts finally got us over the hump over the Saints, who I can't stand their fans or their players after watching them beat us the last couple times in the playoffs. So
yeah, I mean,
hey man,
it's a good vibe, man. But again, like just putting the whole Carson Wentz thing aside, just putting focus on Jalen Hurts and what he did today. You just have to you got a hat tip for these kind of moments, because a lot of rookie quarterbacks come in and they look scared. They look unconfident. And the fact that he came in, and that's the weird part where we have to stand as Eagle fans, stand back and watch and evaluate how the players perform underneath Hurts. Does he give them some new energy, new QB energy? Evan was talking about pregame. Does he give this team a spark in the right direction? I saw, there was a photo of Wentz walking by, Peterson and Hurts, and him looking at him, and this didn't seem.
Well, did you happen to catch at the very end of the game, like when the clock the Eagles did their final kneel down, like everybody cleared off the bench and they were going and they were surrounding Hurts, and like the energy I saw from this team just celebrating Jalen Hurts on his first win, I was like, that is something I have not seen this entire year. And I don't know what the factor is. I don't know if Jalen Hurts has that X factor in him to get this team going, or if this team is just so excited to have something different. And I really don't know what this team is excited for, but they were certainly playing with a different energy tonight. That was apparent. So,
and you're also excited for a rookie to go in there and beat the number one defense. I mean, so the excitement, everybody could have looked at that picture in a whole totally different way, I mean? But I'm with you. It's just the fact that you did not see that all year. We here at this moment, and then you end up peeping something like that. So yeah, I mean,
guys like Matt Ryan, Tom Brady have looked shook under the pressure. But again, like we talk about, like the mobility factor and what it means to have legs and extend plays, not where you're putting yourself in harm's way. The things that we wanted to see from the Eagles, we actually got to see tonight. We got to see them sustain some drives. Miles Sanders in the running game was dialed up, and not only just Miles, we're talking about Jalen Hurts rushing for 106 yards on 18 attempts. Miles Sanders 14 attempts for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, 82 yards. We talk about those 70 yarders he broke off, 82 yards on the day receiving. Rager had 2 catches, 46 yards. Goddard 4 for 43. Sanders 4 for 21. 2 for 20. The consistent thing right there is you're talking about short, intermediate areas and guys just making catches.
Yeah, and he's converting them. And I think was something that was really crazy today is just Doug Peterson's confidence in Jalen Hurts to be going out. Like, I know Doug is a guy to go for it on 4th down all the time, but for Doug Peterson to have the confidence that he did on Jalen Hurts and just his first, couple series to be going for it on 4th down, I thought that was impressive by both Doug and Jalen Hurts.
I'm seeing a lot of these comments from Joe Samakawaho. He said on Facebook, the fix was in for Wentz, how the O-line blocked for Hurts all day.
I mean,
yeah, I don't want to jump to to those type of things, but I mean, it was definitely a different outcome from that O-line. Some key factors of some different players being in there and not players that shouldn't have been in there. So that played a big factor. I mean, you go ahead and you look at that big 82-yard run that Miles Sanders had on that side that last week Peters was on. Do you see him getting those 82 yards? I mean, that's just my question. Like, yeah, I get it. It's a whole different outcome with that O-line today.
Mr. Vargas says no sacks the whole game. Wow. I'd add another O and O in there for a wow. Or maybe even more O's. Maybe I might.
That is impressive. I mean, we've been the most.
Wow, bro. Wow.
We've been the most sacked team all year, and I think that to come out here and have no sacks at all, I mean, that just shows you. I'm not believing that the fix is in or any sort of thing like that. I just think that Jalen Hurts is more mobile in the pocket, and he's honestly been more aware than Carson has been all year. Carson's going back previous years. That's one thing that we really point to is one of his strengths is how aware he is in the pocket, how it almost seems like he has eyes in the back of his head. But Jalen Hurts played a very aware game out there today, and he was able to net positive yardage in most situations.
Now,
actually, in all situations, didn't get sacked.
Mr. Vargas says, again, he says, if Carson was in, how many sacks would he took? Would Carson take if he played tonight?
I mean, it's a real mystery, man. It's a real mystery because they have two totally different playing styles. So they would be in different positions situationally during each play.
And I agree. It definitely was a different playing style. I mean, Jalen made some better decisions on he let go of the ball, like didn't take a sack or didn't take losses on the yards. You know what I mean? He let go of the ball. He threw it out of bounds, which is something that we wish Carson would do a little bit more of. But, I agree with Evan. It was definitely a different playing style today.
Well, you're talking about like negative plays, and that's what Carson he's taking a lot of negative plays where you're talking about, they're in an opportunity to kick a field goal for a veteran. That's kind of the presence that you're looking for. Throw the ball away, not take sacks. But for his, again, man. Talk about pressure situations playing at Bama as a freshman in the national championship. Like when we're talking about pressure, this is just the Saints versus the Eagles. It's obviously his first start. This kid's a bit in pressure situations, kind of like his whole career. So again, cool as a cucumber. Again, like I'm really proud of what I saw. Like again, like from an evaluation standpoint, him not being a shook one is amazing. Like
yeah.
That's the one thing I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I think the biggest help for him was being able to sit behind Wentz for the start of the year because I think Jalen got to see all the mistakes and to see how our line was playing and how our receivers were playing because, like, you could just tell, like, he was putting the receivers in a position where, like, he was leading them a lot more than Carson has. Like, they didn't have to break stride to catch the ball most of the times, especially with Sanders out of the backfield. And I just think he saw the mistakes that Carson made in the same type of offense. And, like, he's like, all right, like, Carson slid this way and got into trouble. Maybe I should go that way. Like, this is a play where, like, if I see someone in cutting, I should be working my way towards them too. Like, I feel like he just kind of like got to see everything in front of him instead of just getting like thrown right into the fire right away. Like if we didn't have Carson Wentz there and he was the starting quarterback, like he got to sit back for 12 weeks and see the mistakes and see everything and just learn from it and then just like make adjustments.
Yeah. And I think something needs to be said about like just the RPOs today. I mean, like the way that we were able to get them going and keep the defense guessing as to who's going to be, going with the ball, whether it's going to be Jalen or Miles Sanders. That was huge today. I mean, I think they did a good job disguising that. I think it was really effective when we used it, and I think that could be part of the formula moving forward. The thing that scares me is that kind of thing's been figured out before.
Well, I mean, we talk about like the RPOs that were run with other quarterbacks who don't run. We call those RP knows because you know that you're not running the rock.
Right.
This guy has the ability to run the rock, and not only
You
just
have to respect
RPOs, QB draws. I mean, and there's like me and Chris did a video on Friday, just kind of like breaking down what we wanted to see from his game, and we saw all that. But me going back to the Oklahoma film and how some of the plays that they were using at Oklahoma, they used today.
What did you guys think of the 4th down QB sneak? Because I thought it was awful. That got blown up from the very beginning. I think everybody knew what was going to be happening there, and you need something different than how you'd approach it with Carson. I think Carson would have gotten a 4th and 1. Yeah, but like you need a different kind of play for Jalen for that, I think.
Harold Sims says, "Nah, we good. Hurts is the future." Kyle,
I'm not there yet.
Couldn't ask for much more from Hurts. He came in and balled out.
Yeah, no doubt. You definitely couldn't ask for him. Absolutely.
Hang on to the game ball, man. He earned
it. It is interesting, man. It's just, can we all agree that what Coach Peterson was doing with Wentz in here and what he just, what he implemented tonight looked very differently. Answered a lot of things we've been talking about, like stuff we've been crying for weeks, like maybe even a month now. And now the fact that the offense it just looks like I was trying to describe it. One of my friends is like, "Yo, how would you describe what the offense looks right now with Hurts versus Wentz?" I was like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe trying to put peanut butter on bread with like a fork versus a knife."
Or maybe he just liked the way Hurts hands the ball off instead of Wentz.
Everything, the ball placement on short intermediate game was nice. He rolled out of the pocket, actually extended. He has more speed to the edge. Got the first down. It just moving chains.
And he wasn't panicking. I think that's the ultimate X factor that was here. I remember one play where he ran out to the right side and he was very pressed for time. And he went right up against the sideline, stayed in bounds, and then did like a quick little like jump backwards to be able to just throw the ball out of bounds and not take the sack. And I looked at that play in particular. And I was like, wow, like that he really thought. So he thought out throwing the ball. Like it was such a complicated way to do it, but he was able to get it done. That's not something that Carson, he's been taking those sacks this year and it's been killing us.
Yeah, I caught that play myself. Yeah,
I feel like one thing that like has really hurt Carson since 2017 is like I feel like they tried to protect him a lot by like telling him to like stay in the pocket. Having said that, like we haven't really had a lot of stability on our line. Like Lane's been in and out, Peters has been in and out, Brooks has been in and out, and I feel like they tried to say, dude, like we don't want you getting hurt. We want to have we want your career to reflect like longevity. We want you to protect that knee. And then the back injury happened. And like you could see, like when he first came back against the Colts that year, I was at that game. Carson looked like Carson. Like he was rolling out, he was running, he was having fun again. But I feel like he's kind of had like an identity crisis the last couple of years where like he was like you could see sometimes like he'd be rolling out like, dude, the Miles Sanders throw against Washington, like not many people can make a throw like that on the run where like you're getting flushed out. It's like you're moving around for like a lot of seconds for a while, and then you just throw like a dot. Like that's the Carson we know. That's what he's made his like giant contract off of, like those flash plays that like really catch your eye. But I feel like he's had an identity crisis where like the line hasn't been able to protect him. Sometimes he puts a little too much trust in them, and then sometimes he doesn't trust his legs enough. And I feel like he's kind of caught in the middle. And like you can see it kind of like when he's thinking like, what should I do? And then he'll make a mistake, and then that kills you as a team. But I feel like it's something he can work through. He just needs like better eyes and better better advice in his ears. I don't think Press Taylor's getting the best out of him, and I don't know if Doug has really done much like to change anything over the last 3 years. But having said that, like it's just good for him to get a little mental and physical rest right now.
You think at this moment that Jalen Hurts is a little bit more hungrier than Wentz at this moment?
I mean,
I can't imagine that.
No?
I would say after sitting.
I was trying to implement a joke. Hungry dogs run faster.
Yeah, I mean, after sitting down all the season and watching Carson like repeatedly make mistakes, and you're just probably like sitting there looking at like the plays, being like 92 jet, like I can run that, like I can make it look better. So I think because Jalen's been in that position, like we talked about Alabama, where like he was watching his team get ran by a younger dude and succeeding without him. So like I feel like him coming to the Eagles, like he thought like Carson Wentz MVP type of dude was going to be in front of him. Carson wasn't that, so he was probably thinking kind of early on like, I actually might play this year. So he definitely didn't. He is hungry right now, and you see it. Like when he came in, like he was energized. He got everyone up on the sidelines, like. And, like, dude, he has a swagger to him that Carson doesn't have right now. We've seen Carson have that before, but he just doesn't have it right now. But Carson's going to get it back, and whether he ends up playing here again or somewhere else. Like, Carson, he's a hyper-competitive dude. Like, he still has it. Like, you hear guys like Luke Kuechly, like, preach about Carson Wentz, saying like that's the dude you don't want to compete against on the field, because like when he's on the field he like flips the switch on him. And I like Carson Wentz, he should be back. I don't know if he's going to be here, to be honest, because
Chris, you have to understand, like all these people that have come out as covert Carson haters, this was fuel on the fire today. This game is nothing but fuel on the fire.
And you know where I stand with Carson. I'm a fan of his game, but you know, like again, like I'm not holding anything back. Like I just call it like I see it, and it's what have you done for me lately? And if that's affecting the unity in the locker room and players are looking at accountability factors, that steps in, that clicks in. Like any football team, you look at a guy who's continuously not living up to his expectations. I mean, he set the bar. So then players will start thinking like, yo, what is going on here? Like, you can't have him continuously play when we see there was word that Hurts was killing it in practice. Like the scout team was like eating up the defense. And if the team overall is seeing that, then again, people are going to start talking. And Mr. Vargas 718 says, I'm happy for Hurts, but your QB running around for 100 yards is not it's not a winning formula, because he can get injured. But if you watched him at Oklahoma, dude put up almost 1,300 yards rushing last year. So that's actually part of his game. That's who he is as a player. But you want him to become a more polished passer in the pocket, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. You're looking for that development, but like we said, this is a second round rookie that we're looking at right now. I think we have to give him the time to develop, just like we give any other quarterback the time to develop.
People in the chat are a little spicy right now. They're
No, but absolutely, Mike is right. I mean, right now we're all enjoying the moment because we won. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna ride this thing out. So it's gonna, the controversy and all that stuff probably isn't gonna come later down the line. Right now, we're just excited that the Eagles ended up getting a win against the Saints.
And we just finally got to evaluate Hurts even more, man. Like, because we're just sick of seeing second round picks. Like, did J-Jaw do anything other than maybe block today? Like, we were just sick of seeing no value return in second round picks.
Yeah, was he even in the game?
Yeah, he was active.
He was.
He was active.
No, he was active, but I didn't even see him in the game.
Yeah. I think I saw him handing out like Gatorade on the sidelines.
You guys wanted to see anything more drawn up for Quez Watkins today? I mean, we had that one end around. I
You
wouldn't
won-
mind him going deep, but I mean, it seemed like they were kind of more hesitant with the deep balls this week.
Yeah,
With
one
Jalen
target, one reception for 3 yards.
Yeah, he had one reception. Yeah,
I mean,
It is what it is.
I want to see these guys play them, man, because like this wide receiver group coming in the draft, I personally think this wide receiver group coming out is better than last year's. So I don't want to say, oh, dude, like I like Hightower, I like Quez Watkins, but like if they don't do anything for you this year, at the last stretch, like
they're expendable.
that's gonna keep you from drafting like a potential stud in the draft this year, because we actually do have a good amount of like mid to late round picks, and like that's when you can get the bang for your buck for the Eagles, because like we need to load up talent around Jalen or Carson.
Shout out to AJ. She's worried about Hurts' hamstrings. Shout out to AJ. Always. I mean, again, like he what he broke a record for like squatting. Like he's a freak in
He's squatting like
lower
600
leg
pounds.
strength is.
Hey man, I hope those legs last him a very long time. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean, AJ another person bringing up a good point. AJ, you're right. Like, that's one of the things you worry about. That's one of the things we were always worried about with these mobile quarterbacks. Hey, listen, they run, they get us the yards, they get us to play, but you're scared they're going to get that big pop, and then bam, then what?
But I mean, like again, like we're like literally like maybe 45 minutes after an Eagles dub, and like Eagle fans are like trying to dissect every single piece of like it was great, but you know, Wentz was sabotage, or like it was great, but
yeah, some of those comments is just like unnecessary,
just
man.
like
Nobody was
we got a
sabotaged.
dub.
So something else I was impressed by that is just like completely, has nothing to do with the quarterback position. I think it really was pretty impressive today with as many guys we had go down on this defensive line, how we continued to get pressure to the quarterback all the way to the end of the game. Josh Sweat showed up huge today, man.
Big time, man.
Josh Sweat had a big time game today.
Duke Riley had a good game too, man. I mean, he had a couple plays that I was skeptical about, but he definitely had
turnovers.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten turnovers all year. Like that's huge. Like it's crazy. Jake Elliott still sucks, but we got turnovers.
Yeah,
that was great awareness by Duke Riley on that interception too, man.
Yeah,
that thing was coming in hot and at a weird angle. Yeah,
hot. That looked like some Madden play right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Madden and stiff arms, did you guys like the stiff arm?
Malcolm. Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Malcolm and Fletch were going at it the whole game, man. They were running mouths at each other all game.
Shout out to Alex, who was cooking up Storm, shrimp
Nice po' boy
on the pregame. If you guys don't know Alex, you're missing out, man. I mean, this guy is cooking up amazing things on 4th and John. He's a sandwich legend. One of these days, we're gonna have him at a tailgate once this pandemic's over, and all of your people out there taking the vaccine. I'll let you guys take it first and tell me how it is.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes.
Jordan. Shout out to Jordan, who's always been active in the chat, always active at tailgates. Well, he says, "I haven't seen this excitement all season."
I'm right there with you, Jordan.
Sounds like he's about to drink tonight.
Hey man, go F.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's been completely stale all year. Like, we didn't right out the blocks. We've been having a bad year. So this excitement, the energy surrounding this team has just been weird all year long. This is the first game where I woke up prior to the game. I was not only excited then, but then like just to be in the moment of that game and seeing a completely different Eagles offense and just to be excited for this Eagles team again was actually something great. It was a good day. Good day of football.
Yeah,
absolutely,
I mean,
man.
It's just a big example of everything happened for a reason. Because like up until we actually got to see Hurts play last week and this week, we're like, dude, like, are we just like not gonna see value returned in like a high draft pick? And we're watching like guys like Jeremy Chin and J.K. Dobbins doing pretty good this year. And then finally, like, we get to see Hurts, and now like this potentially opens up a big chapter in the franchise. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm just trying to focus on the now. Like Jalen Hurts had a really, really good debut as a rookie. and the team beat one of the hottest teams. I mean, we can go over the numbers for Wentz and everything like another time this week because that's going to be a big question. You already know the choppers are circling to pick up Wentz and extract them to go to Indianapolis or San Fran. But I mean, we'll let Howie deal with the numbers and all that stuff.
QB factory.
Yeah, right.
Clayton Thorson.
It's a weird time. I mean, like again, just soak it in. Do the backstroke in the dub. Like all those Saints fans that were talking shit, go find them. Go find them on social media. My girl's grandmother is a Saints, and her mom was like, "Should we call grandma?" I was like, "Call her. wake her ass up." Put that on speakerphone, like, because they've been all rivaling in. We've been the joke, laughing stock of the NFL.
Yeah,
the Eagles.
Yeah, in recent weeks, I mean, this entire year, we've been the punchline for sure.
Yeah, don't even have the worst record in the league, but yes, we are the worst when it comes to that.
Well, I mean, everybody expects it out of the Jets. Pile on the Jets. It's like, yeah, they do this every single season for the Eagles,
no matter
for
what
us,
route they take.
and ultimately, I mean, prior to the season, we had high hopes. I mean, we expected a lot out of this team, and what's crazy to think about is that we actually had those expectations. To be sitting here where we are now, to think that we once thought that this team was capable of so much.
We talk about expectations. Prime's man cave. If you saw the level of detail, we expected to have victory parties up in there.
Oh man, definitely feels good.
Yeah,
definitely feels good.
JT, he says Jalen QB1 signed James Harden. Philly thrives for years.
So
one day at a time, JT. One day at a time.
Sign James Harden, he said. Yeah, maybe things are looking up. I like what we have right now. But I think Soko brought up an interesting point just about the whole. I mean, does he get credit? Is Jalen Hurts being good? If we leave this season and we're not confident moving forward with Carson Wentz, but we are confident with Jalen Hurts, does that kind of save Howie's job since he had the foresight to get him? Or
it goes both ways though, because you could say that he brought him in. They might have seen some on the back end, or just the injury-prone part of Carson's career, or they might have seen something we haven't within the locker room that they needed to bring in new energy, QB energy. But then again, they also brought in someone to mess. It can mess with the player's psyche, with a player behind them. Not all players play when they're pushed. Some people need certain kinds of
to be coddled.
Some people, hey man, did he have Wentz privilege? He's like, this is my spot. I ain't giving this. This is me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my position. I already fought with Nick Foles. Now I got to fight again with Hurts.
Yeah. I think that the damage that Howie Roseman, I stand by my statements that I said prior to the game, kind of what I've been saying the past few weeks, that Howie Roseman has caused more pain and destruction than he has helped in recent years. So.
Now, Philly fan says, do you think Hurts is the future? If so, what do we do with Wentz? That's a good question. Everyone's, talking about the scenario. I mean, if you cut Wentz, that will leave the Eagles with $59.2 million cap hit for Wentz. So this is probably not happening. More than a third of your total projected cap in 2021. Eagles could spread the money over 2 years. This would have to be done before the third day of the league year, when Wentz's 2022 base salary becomes fully guaranteed and his 2021 roster bonus comes due. The idea of trading Wentz. The team trades Wentz before that third day of the league year, March 19th. Any team acquiring him would take on his 2021 salary. That's $25.4 million. The Eagles would not have to pay him his $10 million roster bonus. Eagles would still have to eat $33.8 million dead cap and wouldn't be able to spread that out over multiple seasons. So you're going to have to eat that huge hit right there. However, after 1 year, the Eagles can move on from Wentz and begin life after Carson. So I mean, again, like it's a weird it is what it is. It's a weird conversation. We're not talking about that right now. We're kind of like just embracing the dub, but Eagle fans are talking about it.
I mean that's a bridge that we're eventually going to have to cross. So I think that everybody's kind of just what we've seen from the Eagles recently has put us into off-season mode. I think a lot of fans have checked out for the season, and they're kind of thinking about how the Eagles can fix all of these problems, fill all these holes in the boat, so that we can, take sail next year.
I mean, the section of conversations that we're having here collectively amongst our friends and family are, oh, they're sabotaging Wentz. Oh, they're going to have to trade Wentz. Oh, Hurts, that won't last long. They're playing offense is playing great tonight. Maybe, but hey, we got to protect the top 5 pick. I hope they lose. Like the fan base is like having
divided. Yeah,
100 different conversations, and that's the part where we're at. Like, but again, I had fun today. I've had more fun than I've had in probably a month.
Yeah, and it sets us up for a good week. I mean, we don't have to be sitting here, throwing back and forth the same conversation about how upset we are with this team, how disappointed we are in what we've been seeing. So at least we get to have a good week now. We get to do a little bit of bragging, as much as that's worth at this point. But yeah,
just a little bit. Post game, I mean pre this game, Doug Peterson on Carson. He said, Carson, he's got to take ownership. We got to take ownership. And we got to continue to be collaborative and talkative through it. Continue to work and build. And I said this earlier in this week, and I'm going to continue to say it. I truly believe that he can get back to the type of quarterback that he was even a year ago. I just think we can get him there. I look forward to that opportunity. Now we talk about that opportunity. When is actually that opportunity coming? Because Chris Mortensen, before the game, he said Eagles coach Doug Peterson left it simple that Jalen Hurts is the starter for this game versus Saints, but player and team sources believe it is for the rest of the season, barring injury or disastrous play. That didn't happen today. But as one player noted, it's been a disaster anyway, with too many issues to count.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we've been talking about. We know it's no mystery that this locker room's been a complete mess, and it's been chaos within there. I mean, Doug Peterson's been dealing with that since the very beginning of the season. But, Hurts coming in there, and like it would be malpractice to take him out next game. I don't know. Like Doug would really have some brass ones to start Carson next week, in my opinion.
You have to keep Hurts in, man. You got to keep evaluating him. Because even if like Howie's end goal is to trade Hurts, which people don't want to hear, I'm just throwing out like Howie Roseman logic. Like if they're trying to like pull a Garoppolo and like showcase him, then move him, like you had to play him. And then if you do want Hurts to be a quarterback of the future, you still have to play him and you have to evaluate him. I mean, the thing is like you got to protect the investment of Wentz too. Like the line, the way Carson has been playing, they can't protect him and he can't protect himself, and he can't utilize the offensive weapons that we do have. I mean, the thing that we said like right on draft night was Howie Roseman like can't fully like win the Hurts pick because you were either wrong to pay Wentz or you were wrong about the Jalen pick. Even if, and like the way you can win is if Jalen is like the franchise quarterback, or if you maybe cash in on a trade. But regardless, like you're gonna have to answer the bank when they call for Carson Wentz's money. Like, are you gonna trade him? Are you gonna keep him? Like, but I think as soon as you have Jalen Hurts playing the way he did tonight, like it completely is gonna split the organization, the locker room, and the fan bases for better or worse. And as soon as, let's say, Carson does come back in the summer, lights it on fire, takes the starting job back, there's going to be people on the team and in the fan base and in the in Novacare, like it's like I don't know, like I saw what Jalen did at the end of the season. Like maybe he should be playing. Maybe we should just eat the cap hit and move Carson. Like, and that's the thing. Like it's not really a good environment for either guy because they're going to be looking over each other's shoulders, but. I mean, hey, like, if you're winning cures everything, in my opinion. Yeah. And you're gonna have to move on from one of the guys. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Were you guys puzzled or thrown off at all to see Greg Ward back there returning punts today?
I
Not
think
really.
he's been again. He's made some questionable decisions out there as a punt returner, like not trying to catch the ball. I mean, I played punt returner in college, and there's rules that you have to live by. And if he's
letting that ball go so many times.
His special FIP is like he's like he's given an earful. Like some of those decisions are like, dude, you like at the 10-yard line, you can't, you have to make those catches, or like the one that he let slide on the other end. But again, I think Rager, they said that they were kind of protecting him a little bit. Or like, I mean, how many snaps last week against the Packers? They had like 44 snaps. Like, dude is like in his 20s.
That's what I mean. Like that's the part that I didn't get. Like you say that you're protecting him. He's out there on offense. He's getting hit whenever he touches the ball anyway. Like why can't we put him back there? He took one to the house last week. To me, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, James over here says if they give a decent offer, then they should trade him.
I think that's going to be interesting. I think us talking about just the potential of what the value of both guys, what we'll be able to get in return.
The cap is the issue. The cap is the issue because it was at 194, I think, this year, and then it was supposed to go up to 240 because the NFL had a really good year last year. Then COVID hit, so it went back down to 194, and now they're thinking about putting it back down to like 175, 179 range. So right there, like if you are already losing like 20 million cap that you were expected to have, that kills you. And then you take Carson Wentz's cap hit down, that really kills you. And then next year, a lot of our contracts kick in. Like I think that Alshon and some other guys are going to be on the move, and they'll open up some room. But like even Jake Elliott, who's been terrible, like his cap hit's like astronomical if they try to move on from him. It's like $7 million, and he's barely making 20. And he's not even making 20-yard field goals. So, I mean, Howie's going to have to crunch the numbers crazy this offseason.
Shout out to Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy Smith, who just entered the pod. How are you feeling, man? Bringing good vibes. You look like
you know that we were talking before this game about that energy, getting excited, and I really felt it was possible to win this game if we did exactly what we did in this game. Run the ball. And, they threw out all those stats. Haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 55 games. Don't care. Got 2 of them. Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. I loved it, man. I love the energy you brought. You question why they don't play like that for Carson or why Doug doesn't do certain things for Carson. Look, this has definitely just thrown us the biggest curveball ever, but I'm living in the moment right now. I'm super excited. We got to win. That's all I wanted. I heard someone mention it. I was listening to you guys talk. And, just feeling good about the win. Right now, it's been a hard season, but, winning cures things, and Jalen Hurts, this is only his first start. So before we start saying it's still Carson's job, people are going to ask and wonder why he's not the guy of the future because, well, he's proven that in his first game, he's damn good against that Saints defense. So I love it, man. I'm happy for him. I just want what's best for the team. But now, damn, Carson, I love you, man, but holy hell.
Yeah, we definitely created some conversation today, man.
I love what you said, Evan. It's good conversation. We got the win, right? Like,
exactly,
so I just wanted that for a week, man. 3 wins we had before this,
And would you guys, do you think, I think there would be a portion of the fan base that would be upset at this point that, do you think there's people out there that would be upset? Oh yeah. That's been a complete mystery to me too. But do you think that a portion of the fan base would be upset with winning out at this point, just because of the whole draft thing? I think there's a lot of people that have thrown in the towel and they just are looking towards the draft. Do you think that's existing out there?
I actually said that on the pod.
I'm sure people are upset about this win. Like they're not showing it, they're not expressing it, but I'm pretty sure they're upset about this win.
I'm like the biggest draft head, and like that protecting that top pick is important. But on our pods, I've said if we start winning games with young talent and the youth movement is involved in these wins, I'm in it because these guys that are playing right now are getting meaningful snaps, and that benefits the future of this team.
Totally.
Again, just stuff like Mailata, Herbig, guys that were being sat down for Jason Peters. I mean, did it take his big toe to be the open the door for our success for this offensive line? But again, it's like if the young players are playing, obviously I was like, oh man, I wouldn't mind if they made it close. But again, like a win for their psyche is great. The football team's got to be feeling themselves.
I definitely want to shout out the person that stepped on Jason Peters' toe last week.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Whoever it was.
Hey, we've been talking about this offensive line that we actually had this game, and it's the 12th different out of 13. Oh, my God. But this is the one, the young guys, where we get to see what Urbig and Driscoll got to do. Mylotta needed to be out there, and we knew Sayamalu and Kelsey would be there. So this, I can't believe they didn't allow a sack against this defense. We talked about we had the capability to do it. I'm still stunned by the fact that we did it, man. I'm in heaven right now.
And to be honest with you, I really thought that we lost that onside kick. I thought we were going to end up blowing that game, dude. I thought, and when you look at the replay and how the ball squirted out, I really don't know how we ended up, pulling that out. But Duke Riley must have, he's strong as an ox. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. He had a great game. That interception, he gave props to Jim Schwartz, saying, hey, your defense, like.
Jimmy never fails.
Jimmy.
Yeah, Dak can't stay healthy. Says we stopped calling RPOs with Wentz in 17. If Carson isn't going to run anymore, then you're right. He doesn't fit what Doug wants to do. Let Wentz go to the Colts and win an SB there.
And win an SB there, he says.
Kicking me off for talking about Jim Schwartz. All right.
Notice his name there, though. Dak can't stay healthy. I smell cowboy rat in the chat.
Missed it. Too bad.
Look at Dan. He says rumors have it that Wentz has been auditing away from calls, considering too many things to be fold.
Oh God, man, where do you guys get this shit?
Yeah, this is what's going to happen now that Jalen Hurts won, and we knew it. We called it. Things are going to get out of control. And look, I'm happy for the win, so I'm going to try to indulge it and not. It's going to get out of control.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. Just enjoy the moment, shit. That's what I'm going with. You know what I mean?
The defense was missing Slay, Maddox, dude, Rodney McLeod at the end. Like, people are freaking out. Like, oh, they were giving it. It's like, look, man, they were doing all they could against a team that was steamrolling people. 9 straight wins, even with Taysom Hill there. So this is an impressive win, guys. And everybody just wants to look for some reason to bitch about something. I hate it. It's like, no. Absolutely. No, I'm enjoying this, damn it.
The Eagles really, they never fail to amaze me with how, like, any game you expect them to go in there and get stomped on, they come out and perform the way that they do. Like, what is up with that?
You were on my show the other
together?
day, Evan.
Yeah.
And you said it. We were talking about the excitement. We're like, the what if? Like, what if what if they come out and win? And here we are now, and it's like, oh, let's strap in for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Gail, did you want to introduce the commenter of that?
Oh,
what?
Basilios.
No, never mind.
Oh, would I miss that one?
Nah. Never mind. Dumb joke. But yeah, dude. It's crazy times in Philadelphia right now. The thought that, like, how far we've come with this conversation, that we've got a legit quarterback controversy going on right now. No one would have expected this months ago, but it's 2020. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, man. Isn't it exciting to watch him though? I mean, it was. Oh man.
What'd you guys think of the game plan?
I mean, I just thought it was sound. I thought you utilized, again, like going back to watching his Oklahoma tape and just seeing some of the plays that they were implementing, the QB draw, some of the QB sweeps we talked about in pre-draft. I mean, after he was drafted, like those kind of runs that he's being utilized, using his speed to get to the edge. You're seeing some of the speed that Wentz doesn't have to get to the edge. Their defensive linemen look a little bit perplexed when they're coming in there aggressively, and he's getting away pretty easy. But even just like him throwing the ball away, I was like, oh my God, that's
yeah, that was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Not taking no losses for yards or getting sacked and letting go of that ball.
Bro,
that right there was just a plus for me.
His toe tap, throwing it out of bounds. When he did that, like, I was like, yeah, dude, this kid is for real, man. And I'm loving it, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Shout out to Josh Sweat, and also shout out to JT. But
we're all members.
Josh Sweat fan club. He played played fairly nice. And can we say that his sack dance is undefeated?
I love it. I love it. Wiping the sweat off the brow. I love it.
Magical.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, one thing that we haven't really talked about.
That bum ass kicker of ours.
Oh.
I mean, you're the one that had kickers of people too.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. You're right.
Damn you.
He's not much. He's not much of a kicker anymore, man. I hate to break it to you. The
22 yards.
They are the weirdest group of people in the NFL, these kickers, because they have it one year and they are lights out, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall completely off, and when they're off, there's no getting them back on. It's ugly what Jake Elliott has been doing this year, man. The 22-yarder, Jake, 22 yards.
Seriously.
I'm not a kicker, but it looked like he kicked it from the side of his foot. Like, why? I don't.
You're right though, Evan. That's exactly, once it's in their head, it just seems like it never gets fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would want Dom to be waiting in the hallways, like it's dark, and then Dom like does a Nancy Kerrigan joint. It takes his leg out.
Yeah,
and Jake's like, why? Because I mean, at this point, like, bro, like you're missing, like, you have a quarterback who's in his head, and now you have your kicker in his head. That's a tough scene, man. Like, what is going on?
And like when you can't, and I totally think that all of the fourth down attempts this year is they correlate. Just the lack of confidence in the kicker and just Doug going for it on fourth down. There's a lot of times where I get frustrated with Doug and I wish that he would just take the points. But then I think to myself about how ineffective Jake has been all year long. And I get it. I totally get it, because you want to take the points any opportunity you can. But man, like that's just another Howie blunder. Just signing him to as much as he did. For as long as he did. Like, this is a disaster. Like I said, you know how kickers are. Kickers, they can just snap in an instant and then it's over. To give them that kind of length and security, come on, man.
Shout out to John, always active in the chats. What's your opinion on Doug going on it on fourth downs? I think it's weird. Like, bro, like, kick a field goal at some point in the game.
No.
Like,
it's just what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way until it was like, and then he misses one. It's like, okay.
If you can't count on a guy, like I really think that like they want to give him just the easiest shots possible, and then they felt confident enough to like, you know what? How can Jake miss this? We're right in front of the end zone. We need to get these points here, and he blows it.
22 yards.
The coincidence here is that both those guys got paid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You get. They say some people, money changes them.
Yeah, and I think that like what the thought process was there. You're just trying to shore up as many holes as we have as a team. You're just trying to shore up as many positions as possible. So you think to yourself, maybe jump the gun, and you're like, all right,
be better than Jake Elliott, dude. I don't think you need to draft a kicker, and I've always been against that. You can find undrafted guys, or women.
It's just weird because I mean, Jake Elliott was a part of that Super Bowl run. He made some phenomenal kicks. He
Nostalgia for kickers.
Well, I mean,
look at Gostkowski.
Like this guy Evan he made a homemade sign of kickers of people too.
Yeah, man. I support the kicker, and it's not like I have stopped supporting the kicker. I just stopped supporting our kicker.
I remember. I think that sign is somewhere back there.
Yeah, it's gone now. That's gone with my Sidney Jones jersey as well.
Yeah. Marcus says, "Hey, stop the presses, guys. Enjoy the win, but Arizona will be tough next week." See, Marcus is like a coach.
But if we beat the Saints,
the Cardinals don't have a good as defense as the Saints, so we can put up points.
Any given Sunday, fellas.
Hey,
Sunday.
Slay versus Hopkins now? Damn.
And then I'm not worried because if they do lose, it's all right for the draft. It's okay.
Yeah, we're playing with house money at this point.
That's what we said before the game, though. As long as they fought, I just wanted to see some fight. But when it comes to the draft, we just want to see somebody helping Howie. You know what I mean? Or a lot of us want Howie gone, but I don't think it's going to happen as much as we complain about it. But we won, so that's going to upset people. Gail, you had kind of asked that earlier. I'm never going to be somebody like you said that watches the game and roots against them. But in the end, if we lose, if it is what it is, I love what we saw from the young guys. I got to see some young guys growing, and dude, we got to win, and I feel good. So that's what matters to me.
I mean, if you don't feel good about the way that we won today, like after all that we've seen this year offensively, which has been offensive, if you're not excited about what you saw today, and from a young player, mind you, who did not look shook, I can say that a million times. Like the fact that he didn't look shook made me even more confident about like maybe some of the reasons why they did draft him, because they're like, we got a quarterback. You could run, quarterback who can run, right? They can run into the ground, no pun intended. But like 1,300 yards rushing as a quarterback, we're only paying him a couple mil a year, $6 million for the 4 years. You could run that guy into the dirt if you wanted to. It's not like you put the franchise money on that. Run it to the dirt if you had to. Like, and if this whole winning theory is about like having your team around solid drafting, and then in that rookie phase of your quarterback's contract, you start hitting on draft picks. You're not paying a quarterback $33 million. That if
it almost sounds like you're advocating for some sort of quarterback factor.
I'm not, but I'm saying he keeps winning the way he's winning, and Wentz doesn't come back to his stealth. Like again, like watching Wentz play this year, besides like I'm in a list of like top 10, pandemic being number one, Kobe, and then a lower, very low, probably 10 would be Carson Wentz regressing this year. Like I didn't expect any of that shit.
No. Yeah, I mean, this has been absolutely wild. Carson has taken the steps back that he has. It still makes no sense to me. But what does make sense to me is good football, and I know when I see it. I saw the Eagles put together a good game today, and with a quarterback and an offense that today it just seemed like it made sense. And Carson has been playing. I feel like when Carson's been in the game in previous weeks, there's been a lot of confusion out there, not just with him, but between his receivers, people not being lined up correctly. Today, everybody seemed to be firing on all cylinders on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Gail always says you can't go broke taking a profit. That's exactly the type of thing that Jalen Hurts has been living by, and he's not taking those sacks, and we continue to get positive yardage each play. It pays dividends.
I mean, you're getting third and shorts, and then you have the ability for him to extend plays and get first downs. How many do we see tonight? About like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
First downs. I mean, the first thing I said out of the offense was like, move them chains, Jalen. It's just like you continually stack first downs, and then Miles Sanders. Like if you have a QB, especially if we're getting some movement from the linebackers, and them like, all right, this running back is able and capable.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give it to Miles Sanders. It takes one. Miles Sanders has shown you it only takes one run.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank God they ran the ball with him. I mean, he got 18 touches, right? We wanted 20, but I mean, 4 receptions and 14 carries. But I loved it, man. Dude, we ran the ball. How can you not be happy? But I think what pisses people off is why the hell haven't we been doing this all year? But obviously Hurts brings a different dynamic, so it made it, things open up more.
Yeah,
baby.
He definitely opens up the field more because I mean it's like you guys mentioned, the linebackers are worried about him. That opens up the game for Miles Sanders. The linebackers or whatever are worried about Miles Sanders. That opens up the game for him to hit a receiver or end up running like he did. You know what I mean? So it definitely changes the game plan, and they weren't getting that out of Carson. It's like they knew what Carson already was going to go ahead and do. That's why they were so comfortable in shutting us down. With Jalen being in there today, it was the whole different scheme.
I mean, just imagine if Jalen Hurts moving forward, they start trying to throw the house at him. He starts pre-snap his mental game is like
which they started doing, which they kind of started doing. You know what I mean? Like Malcolm was getting in there.
They're the best at doing it too.
Yeah, there were like 2 or 3
Yeah.
that were getting in there. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if he starts coming up with a consistent game plan pre-snap, once they start bringing this kind of, and I think that's the next level of progression of Hurts, where you want to see his game get. Like if you start, audibling out in runs that are hitting, or like setting up some quick screens or tight end screens, and that he's like, yo, you can't phase me, bro. And that would be the whole, because again, this is one game. We as Eagle fans weren't sure what we were expecting to see tonight. The Saints didn't know what they were going to see tonight, because no one's seen this version of the Eagles offense. So
exactly, and that's going to be moving forward. That's going to be the true test. Is once we have some film with Jalen Hurts on it, and teams are able to scheme and game plan against him. If he's still able to put up the kinds of games that he's doing, that is going to speak to how good he really is. He was a completely blank slate tonight. You didn't know what you were going to get out of Jalen Hurts. You just haven't seen it.
John asked this question: could Carson have won this game with his play caller?
Probably not.
Not this year.
Wow.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Nah, not this year.
I don't know, man. I like this offensive line, and as you saw, obviously they played better, but Jalen Hurts helped the fact that he didn't get any sacks. That was on him, not the offensive line necessarily playing the greatest. So kudos to both of them. And maybe Carson Wentz would have gave us a chance, but let's be real here. The pressure that they were displaying in the, every game this season, almost the Saints, they probably would have destroyed Carson Wentz, and his decision-making is terrible. I talked about, I was laughing because Gail said how much he loved him throwing the ball away. Dude, when he literally tiptoed on the sideline to make sure, he got a good pass, threw it away. There was no intentional got past the line of scrimmage. I loved it, man. Smart plays. Dude, it was exciting to watch a kid in his first career start, man. I like that.
Showed up big.
Again, that's like, we talked about on the pod just about where his career has gone. Like, you have to realize that sometimes people don't have perspective of things. Like, think about Carson Wentz, what he's going through right now. This big monumental moment. He just got paid. He's a quarterback of the Eagles, having a crappy season. Jalen Hurts has been there. He was, he's the starter of, the Crimson Tide. He's the guy, brings them to a national championship, gets benched halftime, and a freshman comes in and leads them to victory, dude. And then comes back another season, but then transfers out, doesn't let that bother him to the point where he's not an effective teammate. Mm-hmm. This is where I think if Carson Wentz is going to get back to his game mentally, this is all part of the process, the storyline of how his career develops. Right. What is it that he wasn't doing mentally to not connect with some of the players, or what he wasn't doing with his reads, or his, why was he late on these throws, or he's got to sit and figure that out, dude.
Yeah, and he really needs to go above and beyond at this point, because Carson Wentz, this was his job. He was the quarterback of this team. This was his team. And now, his poor play has dug him in this hole all year long, to where now people want Jalen Hurts. They want the guy behind him. And so, Carson Wentz really needs to dig deep here, because the hole that he's dug here, it's gone down a long way. And the damage, he needs to get in front of this now. Start performing.
The need to take down the statue of Nick Foles.
If that's bothering you, then
I think he's joking on this one. But
no, I mean, if that's bothering the players, then they are just not built to play in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that's the least of your worries. Statue.
Chris Long actually mentioned it on his podcast. He's saying that he would be irked by that, and he was on that Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
He's as competitive guy as he is. He was like, it doesn't sit well with me.
Go get yourself one then.
I was there for the unveiling of the statue. Shout out to Bud Light. Always a big supporter of the tailgates. Obviously, we're not tailgating, but always got love for Bud Light. I was there at the unveiling. Actually got a piece of the statue, shaving. I found it under my car seat the other day, and I was like, "Look at this!" And they tell you where the piece is from the actual statue, but slight flex. No, but it was like I didn't expect to be there, but just being there in the veiling and actually that being a great moment, but then this whole other part of it where this has been a topic of conversation for the last 2 years, dude. Like, really? Like, it could be seen as something so positive, and now it's being seen as something so negative.
Yeah,
For the wrong reasons. It's if Carson Wentz plays well in the last 2 years, like doesn't if he just plays lights out, we're not having this conversation.
yeah, it's not even a debate.
So statue aside, it's the play. If the play's subpar, this is what happens.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
I mean, if the statue's bothering him that much, the statue doesn't seem to be bothering Jalen Hurts. So, I honestly, that's kind of what I'm saying is if you're going to play like crap, dude, it doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts seems to be doing well in his first start. The half a game he played with, it was iffy, but we said we want to see more. And we're going to learn a lot against a great defense like this. So people have to look at the fact that he played against such a good defense and did this, guys. No sacks. And he had that fumble at the end there, of course. Yeah, it sucks. Dude, his first ever game. Like, let's cut the kid some slack. Get excited that maybe if Carson Wentz is having issues, they're going to battle it out, and we're going to find out who the best man is. And if this kid puts on a show the next 3 games, I'm all for a nice little battle. And if they can figure out how to maybe restructure Wentz and trade him or do something, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I love Carson Wentz. I do. But this game just made, holy shit.
I know.
It just blew the doors off, man. It's game on for the craziness, dude, and I'm all here for it.
The NQE is it gives everybody positive energy, man. It gives everybody the positive energy.
Told you for the game, man. That's
new things.
Felt it.
Yep.
NQE.
Let's go.
Yeah, bro. Whatever you got to do to come up with some slogans around here. We got slogans now that we're winning. Hurtsville. Population, how many right now? Is the Hertz wagon maybe?
It's more than the audience will want.
Hurts so good. I don't know, man. First of all, I just want to thank all the fans that are up and active in the chat. I mean, like obviously the post game is fired up, even more fired up after a W. Let it out, man. Like relax. We're in a pandemic. It's all about small victories, whether it's they delivered your food on time by Uber Eats. By the way, my Uber Eats, it took 2 hours and I had to cancel.
Oh my God, that cheesesteak never came.
Wow. I got cheesesteak, bro.
Oh, that's uncalled for.
Yeah, she pulled an Evan Hurd. She was eating your food in the car.
Yep, stop at the light.
Remember I showed you the photo of her and I was like, start judging people.
You were right.
You were.
See? I'm looking at her.
Dude.
Is she gonna deliver this on
We're
time?
looking at you, Jamie.
She looked a little off, and I was
wow.
so during this pandemic, it's all about small W's. So whether we had some good dinner, Hurts 1 year, more was saying DoorDash, I might try that next time.
Yo, that's crazy.
Small
Damn,
victories,
dude.
man. Like if you're mad right now about nothing, like if you bought 2 Wentz jerseys like I did last year, season, I got the vapor ones. So I was like, oh, these are on sale. $75. I'm like, this is crazy. And now I'm sitting here like, bro. And then Prime calls me up. Yo, they got jerseys, $39.99 at Ross. I'm like, what?
Yeah, superstitious, man. Look, check this out. Jamie didn't deliver. We won. Had Jamie delivered that cheesesteak, it probably would have been a different outcome.
I was thinking the same thing. We got to call her back, and then next time you don't answer, we'll see if the same result can possibly happen.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But if we're gonna leave with some positive words, some last words to live by, we'll go with Jimmy. Some last words on the birds before we get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, regardless of how you felt going into this game or how you feel now, a win is a win. And if this season is over, we're still in third place of this division, this terrible division. I mean, be excited that the young guys got to learn a little bit about winning, a little bit about holding yourselves accountable. And when you play with a little bit of heart and, you play together, great things can happen. So just I see all the negativity already. And look, there is going to be a competition and we don't know what's going to happen with Wentz, but let's be happy about this damn win. I've literally wanted to be positive every pregame show we've had, postgame. And I love doing this with all you guys, and I appreciate all you guys that tune in. So thanks for having me on. Yeah, go Birds!
I'm happy, man. I'm excited for the win, and I get to have a good week. Despite all the controversy that's pretty much going to be coming our way, I'm not going to go ahead and dig too much into that. I just want to go ahead and enjoy the moment. Congrats to Jalen Hurts for doing his thing against the Saints today, and I really hope he finishes the rest of the season strong. Man, I'm with it. But yeah, I'm excited for the week and being able to be at ease.
Hey, and that's a nice man cave you got there. Celebrate it, okay?
Absolutely.
Evan.
Well, boys, I don't get to do this often this season, so I'm going to walk around with my thang out this week. I'm going to be feeling myself. I'm going to walk into work tomorrow with a different type of swagger because that's exactly how my birds showed up yesterday, with a different type of swag. I got that NQE flowing through my body right now, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good about what is to come for the future in the Eagles, man. It's exciting. It's an exciting time. Whatever happens, and go Birds.
Evan's got his swagger back. Again, I'm just reiterate what I said, man. It's all about small victories. In these moments when your team is been going through the ringer, the press, the negative press, the team looked within internally. It looks like they did some soul searching this week. The players held each other accountable. They played as one. More injuries this week with some of the secondary guys going down. But these younger guys have stepped up. I've talked about the youth movement over the last couple of weeks and about winning with younger guys that makes sense for this football team right now. You can talk about the future right now until you get blue in the face. But it's all right. It's all right. It's all about right now. Right now, the team is living in the moment. We're going to try and live in the moment. This dub helped our mental health. Again, checking on your peoples. Mental health is an important thing. Give them a call. Make sure they're, safe and sound and enjoying the dub. But that's all for now. And we will see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles. Fly. If I can find this.